Great, just doing a updated toolbox tour since my last one. I have added some new stuff and everything's pretty clean right now. So mainly that I work on motorcycles. We're about to head into the motorcycle wrenching season. It did warm up here this week. So I got everything cleaned up, ready to go, and thought I'd do an update. The main two toolboxes are the same as last time, but I did add this side cabinet here, and I do like the additional storage. And since the last time, the first one, new thing here, that's a Rate Tool 70mm wrench. I have no practical use for it, but just thought it looks nice hanging on the wall there. So we'll go here and open up the top. Just a couple extra decals. And start over here on the left. These are Lang snap ring pliers. These are all made in the USA. Are internal and external convertible, and work great for the money. Back here I have my two right tool torque wrenches, half-inch drive in the back and 3/8 drive here. Get kind of close where you can see the etching on there. And I'm a big right tool fan, and I like these torque wrenches. A lot of this other is just some overrun ratchets that don't use often, or spares came with old kits. And just stuff I really don't use too often. These are Craftsman. They are made in the USA. The 1/4-inch drive, just an old gasket scraper here. This is a Harbor Freight model, composite, and if you have to work on stuff in cold weather, these are not bad ratchets at all, especially for the price, and your hand won't go numb when you grab something like this in the cold. And use some more Craftsman, bent flex, and spark plug ratchet. At least that's what I've used it for in the past. This is a Harbor Freight 3/8 long flex ratchet. Did add a couple new pry bars, these wild ones. They look identical to the Mayhew, so probably the same manufacturer. You can see the big one up front here. I believe it's 36 inches all the way down. Next drawer, here we have, this is the RK motorcycle chain tool for doing street bike chains. And it is a great tool. I don't use the push pin to remove old chains. I just use a die grinder, grind the rivets off the side, pop the side plate off, and that's much simpler to me than trying to push the old rivets out. These are just cheap Harbor Freight measuring tools, digital calipers. Back here is an old Sun Pro digital volt ohm meter. Spare set of meter leads and my Craftsman meter. The thing I do like about this is it goes to 20 amps on the current rating, and it has an infrared thermometer on here, which is, it's kind of handy for finding dead cylinders on multi-cylinder motorcycles. You put it on the exhaust pipes and you find the cold one, and there's your dead cylinder. There's some inspection mirrors, couple magnets, cheap picks here. This is a general kit. There's another, it's a 14-pound rated magnet and magnifying glass. These two, right? These are Kawasaki factory parts for disassembling forks. Some vice grips. Mine are all older Peterson models. All of these are made in the USA. It's my understanding when Irwin bought out vice grips, I believe they're all made in China now. This is a tool for doing motorcycle valve adjustments, for screwing lock nut tight. So these are just feeler gauges and spark plug gapper, and more tools for setting valves on motorcycles. These are nice to reach up under there. I do like these. Another spark plug gapper here. Wire brush, couple pipe wrenches, though I'm not really a plumber. And old Craftsman Pro adjustable wrenches. I'm not a fan of these either. These are kind of a last resort tool, at least in my eyes. I don't like using those. This is a progressive suspension. It's for setting the fork oil height. Motorcycle forks. This piece is adjustable right here, and you just move it up or down to set your fork oil height. This is a nice tool to have. SAE drawer. I don't own any vehicles that use SAE tools, and I don't work on any vehicles that are SAE. But you still keep them around, because guess you never know. An old lawnmower or something might need to work on. These are the old Craftsman Professional. They are made in the USA, or I guess most current Craftsman stuff's made in China. And crow's foot wrenches. This overrun of SAE tools. SAE sockets, no, they're not organized well because I don't use them. Some spare socket rails. This is actually the Harbor Freight pass-through set. Found it in the road, so keep it. It's for setting your fork seals on motorcycles. I have a lot of specialty motorcycle tools, but they're all next to my bike lift, with the flywheel pullers and that kind of fun stuff. Again, 1/4 inch drive SAE. Spare DeWalt drill. I have another DeWalt plug-in electric. It's beat to hell, but it still runs, and I found this on sale cheap, so I just bought it as a spare. 2 spare DeWalt drill indexes. Hammers, punches, chisels. This is a chisel set from Harry J. Epstein's. Found it cheap. And some brake drum tools. I got a vehicle that's going to need new drum brakes here in the spring. Those were also from Harry J. Epstein's, and they're all in the clearance section. They're all really cheap. They are all Wild brand, made in the USA. I hate working on drum brakes, so they were cheap enough. I just bought one of each that they had. Hopefully it'll make the job go easier. Craftsman ball peen hammers. These are made by Vaughn, and they are made in the USA. Some overrun. These are the orange handled ones, are Craftsman Pros. Except these Robo Grip pliers, the only thing I use these for is hooking up the hose to the side of my house or disconnecting it. These Master Force ones, I got those at Menards. I know a lot of Master Force tools at Menards are made in the USA. These are not. These particular pliers, I remember the card said made in China. And these are some other Chinese long reach pliers as well. I did get these on Amazon. But I work on motorcycles. I'm not working on rusted up cars, so I'm not really abusive with stuff, and hopefully they hold up. Old Craftsman Pro screwdrivers. These are made in the USA by Western Forge. And they're not bad screwdrivers if you like this type of handle. There's a Wild gasket scraper, KD gasket scraper. This particular nut driver fits a set of pod carburetor filters to a particular motorcycle I own. The long flexible screwdriver, that's nice for working on an older motorcycle with multi-carb setups. This is a Harbor Freight bearing and seal driver kit. Had it a long time. Works well. My big money drawer. Everything in here is, all the sockets in here are metric. And everything I work on is metric, so that's what I have the most of. Start in the back. These half-inch drive impacts, these are all right tool, all 6-point. And these are good sockets. These half-inch drive 12-point, these are also right tool. Half-inch drive chrome 6-point. Both of these are SK sets. Right tool does not make chrome 6-point sockets and half-inch drive, so I went with SK on those. And there is a lot of them in the SK kits, so many that they go beyond a regular Hansen tray, what they have sizes for. They go beyond 27mm there. Next year, these are 3/8 drive flex socket 6-point. These are also SK. These 3/8 sockets, these are gear wrench models, and they're what they call mid-length. So they're between your short and deeps. Next, on a 3/8 drive Hansen tray, these are right tool 3/8 drive 6-point. Couple spark plug sockets on the end and universal joints. The 1/4-inch drive Hansen tray, these are also both right tool 6-point drive. And this 1/4" clip. This is the Ernst socket boss rail that they're sitting on. The 1/4" flex sockets, these are SKs, and the 1/4" mid-length sockets, those are also SK. And in the front there, it's a right tool 1/2" drive breaker bar. It's 24 inches long. And with the exception of, this is a DeWalt ratchet. A friend gave me one that he stripped out, so I called him up and he sent me a brand new one as a warranty replacement. So I threw it in here. Actually, I don't use 1/2" drive a lot working on motorcycles, but I tossed it in there. The rest of the ratchets in here all are right tool. It's a 1/2" drive open head. You can see all the mechanism in there. It's right tool. Right tool. 3/8 drive flex, what they call the Tootsie Roll handle. Another 3/8 drive, just straight. Another 3/8 flex head. 3/8 open head, 3/8. So the majority of those extensions are right tool. 3/8 breaker bar in the back. And the 1/4" drive right tool, and 1/4" drive breaker bar. These are right tool, right grip metric wrenches, fully polished here, satin finish over here. Really good wrenches, same concept as Snap-on's flank drive. And they say that, let's see if we can get this, try to hold this still. You can see on the open end they have that serrations there that really grip on your nut or bolts so they don't slip off. These are much cheaper than flank drive plus wrenches as well. The screwdriver in the middle here, this is a hose. It's actually a JIS, Japan Industrial Standard, which apparently a lot of people don't know that Japanese Phillips type heads are different than the ones like out of the USA. And it was just too long to fit in my regular screwdriver drawer, so I put it between here. Next we got some, these are SK Super Chrome, but they are 6-point on the box end. And on the open end, these don't have serrations or anything. Which the right grip wrenches with if you're working on like motorcycles with chrome nuts and bolts, they will mark them up. So I also, if I have to use an open end wrench on a nut or bolt and don't want it marred up, these are the ones I would grab first. These are SK socket flex head wrenches. On the socket end they are 12-point drive. Deep offset, these are stall wheels made in Germany, and they are very nice wrenches. and they feel real nice and light in your hands too. In the back, you got the SK crow's foot flare nuts. And these are T&E brand torque adapters. These are made in Taiwan. And I don't use them so much with a torque wrench, but they're nice. If you have nuts and bolts or anything else, you know, it's hard to access, these do come in handy. You see, you have a nice finish, good broaching on them. Again, that's not something you use often, but when you need it, they're nice to have. This is a new addition since my last video. These are the gear wrench set. You have a fixed box end on one. If you're going to use a ratcheting wrench, those ones that have the open end on the opposite side just seem totally senseless to me. I do not break bolts loose with an open end wrench unless it's absolutely necessary. Much better to break it open with a box type wrench, and then you can flip it over and use the ratcheting side to quickly remove it or snug it up. I'm not a fan of ratchet wrenches with an open end on the opposite side. This is pretty complete set, 8 to 25 millimeter. Up front, this was a Jones Way kit. These are ratcheters as well. This came from Fastenal. These were on clearance for like less than 50 bucks, as I remember. In the back, you got the Fakem socket wrenches. There's a 6-point drive on both sides. These do, if you're doing like a valve adjustments with a screw and lock nut type, these are kind of nice with this open back here. You can put that over your lock nut and still get a screwdriver down in them. Kind of unique. I don't think they're really popular here in the US. The obstruction wrenches, these are also Falcom, however you say it. Another one there. Just an overrun. I used to work at a True Value hardware store when I was in high school. So my first real made in USA good tools, most of them are Master Mechanic, and I still have some of them. Go in the back here. Most of these sockets, these are either Master Mechanic or Craftsman. There are some Craftsman, and they're all metric. Again, the ratchets, those are Master Mechanic, made in the USA. This is a Right Tool 1/2-inch drive that belonged to my dad. More ratcheting wrenches. These are the Easy Red brand. They are made in Taiwan. And this is the newest style. They had these before where the ratchet end kind of extended here past the body. And if you still like those type, there's a company called Mountain that you can still buy those if you prefer those type. But these do flex. They lock in position here. Again, I'm working on bikes, not rusted up cars. So these work fine for me. My pneumatic tool drawers. Again, I work on bikes, don't use pneumatic. Do own a car, so I do need to use these for my car. I do have some pneumatic tools. Not the latest and greatest IRs, but those both work for me. I do have a couple air ratchets. Don't really use those. Some extra Milton quick connects and chisels. This is just the case that the die grinder came in. Threw those extra grinding bits in there. I do use the die grinder for removing motorcycle chains. And this is a Kawasaki air hammer someone gave me. So never used it, but I have it if I ever need to. This is a Vim Tools Torx bit set. It's got internal, external, anti-tamper bits. Vim is the OEM of like Cornwell tools. I have no idea what these sell for in the Cornwell brand, but this is a good alternative. This is the Craftsman bolt out kit. You know, if you got a stripped head or something, these are supposed to be good to grip them and remove them with. These are a Blackhawk long reach plier set. There's a guy selling these for $30 a set on eBay. They are made in the USA. Blackhawk's a division of like Proto and Stanley owns both those brands. Tweezer set. Mainly channel lock drawer. Except for lineman pliers, I much prefer Klein. I think Klein makes the best lineman pliers. These are kind of unique, something you usually don't see at the normal hardware store or type stuff. These are the duckbill pliers. Channel lock brand, made in USA. And the bent nose, needle nose. These are the ones I normally don't see in the local stores either. This particular set, these are good for like the spring type clamps I see on motorcycle fuel lines a lot. Those two indentions there. Those grab those really well. These are great tool nut drivers. They're actually made by Pratt Reed, though. I like nut drivers for removing worm type hose clamps. It's my preferred tool for doing those. This is a Vessel ratcheting screwdriver. It's made in Japan. The bits that go for it. This is a flexible extension that goes on the end. Great tool. Flare nut wrenches. And over here, I call these Nippics. I know you always hear Nippics or whatever. I just call them Nippics. These are the locking Cobra pliers. They're about $100 a set. Highly recommended though. These are so much better than your regular like channel lock water pump type pliers. Absolute favorite pliers there. Screwdrivers, again these red handled ones, right tool, they're all made by Pratt Reed. And up on there's a couple new addition, these vessel models. This is actually an impacting screwdriver. And when you smack it with a hammer, it actually turns the shaft 12 degrees with each strike. These are JIS types. If you're working on old Japanese motorcycles where the side covers are held on with the Phillips type screws, these are nice. All these black plastic hard handles, these are all Hosen JIS screwdrivers. Pratt Reed stubbies. They're stubby shaft with full handles. Cougar Pro ratcheting wrenches. I know I said I don't like the open end on a ratchet wrench, but these are reversible, and Cougar Pro is a division of Right Tool. Right Tool being my favorite tool company, I just bought those. And the crow's foot wrenches, these are old Craftsman USA. This tool here, this is actually for working on a Husqvarna, like chainsaws, weed eaters, blowers. It's a carb adjustment screwdriver type. It's actually a spline drive though. And the side box over here, this is a new addition since the last video. Up top I have these Bondis metric T handles. I do like these. They have it's a solid steel on the T handle, and it gives a nice flywheel effect. When removing stuff, it spins really nice in your hands. They are made in the USA, and the warranty is supposed to be great. These are my hex drivers. Working on bikes, again, I use these often. Old Craftsman set up front, you can tell they're well used. The one snap-on tool I have left. These are both Motion Pro. These are for moving the front axle sport bikes. There's a Bondis set, old Craftsman set. The black impact ones, these are Harbor Freight. Have used the bigger ones, moving like swing arm pivots. And the other, these are Bondis, the socket ended ones here, silver ends. Right Tool models here. These are not cheap, but they fit great, do not slip, and worth the money in my eyes. This set, this is flex heads. Bought those on Griot's Garage a long time ago. Some more Easy Red stuff here. These Easy Red these are made in China, but I think they were like $17 for the set. More Easy Red hex sets. See those hex heads? You can put a wrench on the opposite side of them. These are also Easy Red. You call these wrench connectors. They do have like magnets on the end, so they would stick to the wrench, connect two wrenches together. This is a Proto impact driver. You know, Prado used to always be for made in the USA, but you can see that label there. Mayhew hook and pick set. These do have these are made for hitting with a hammer. Why you'd have to hit them with a hammer, I don't know. But they do have striking caps on them. The almond set. These are made in the USA. This is like 20 bucks on Amazon. These are old Master Mechanic mini hook pick sets. And this set here is from Harry J. Epstein's. These are dental type picks. Made in the USA. I know these say Old Forge, but they advertise them as Mayhew on Amazon. The body clip set and gasket scraper on the end there. Some overrun sockets. I think these are Duralast from AutoZone. Craftsman wobble extension set. This is made in China. I don't think I've ever used these. And this is an old Master Mechanic set. Socket set. Empty. Spare impact sockets. They are Ingersoll Rand. I believe they are made in China though. This is the Craftsman thread restore kit. This is what you should be using instead of a tap and die set to restore threads. I think they only sell this online. It's somewhere around $50. And this is the exact same set that all the tool truck companies sell for like twice the price. I think K-Star is the actual manufacturer. But these are what you should be using to fix threads instead of a tap and die set. Beneath that then I have an actual Craftsman tap and die set, made in the USA though. So that's it for the new editions. Updated, and we're about to hit wrenching season for motorcycles, at least here in Ohio. And that's it. Thanks. Any questions, comments, leave them in the bottom.